What's up, my chapter 2 family? This is your boy Mario coming back to you with another video. And before we get into all the things of the thing, let's rewind it. Alright, so y'all know what to do. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it and help me along my way on my journey to becoming a YouTuber, and you become a part of the chapter 2 family and watch me on my journey. Alright, for the title of this video, it's going to be kind of lengthy, y'all, so y'all guys stay tuned. This is kind of like my intro and why do I want to start to do YouTube, or why I want to become a YouTuber, however you want to twist it. So I've always wanted to become a YouTuber. Get your popcorns, get your drinks ready, come on. But anyways, you gotta do it, pause the video for a second, go get you a drink, go get you a little something, you know. It's gonna be a little minute. Go get situated right in the bed that you want to watch this on. Get situated on the couch, whatever you gotta do, go ahead and do it. But anyways, let me stop playing around, be serious. I really wanted to become a YouTuber, or do YouTube, whatever you want to say. Back in when the first of the pandemic started, I wanted to do YouTube. That was like because you had nothing to do, was ever watch Netflix or any other streaming platforms or whatever. You know, you got tired of doing that, so I started to look on YouTube and started watching a lot of people. One of my people that I've always stick with was my girl T.S. Madison. I met T.S. Madison through Craig the Writer Stewart, and then I started following them both, and I so she got me through the pandemic with her, and I remember what they used to do. I don't even remember what they used to call us or whatever. I remember people used to call and they would just try to sing or whatever. So I used to watch that a lot. And then, I used to watch other people on YouTube as well. And then I used to be like, man, I want to do this. You know, it just seems fun. It seems therapeutic. It seems, all of those things I wanted to do. And I wanted people to gravitate towards me because I think that I'm pretty entertaining to some people. Hey, and some people I may not be entertaining to. So, hey, it is what it is. So I started watching them through the pandemic, and then, I was like, I never had time because even through the shutdown, I was still currently working at that time. I was still working. So I was still working. My job wasn't open to customers. I worked at a shoe store, a small shoe store inside of a mall. And my store was open, but it wasn't open to customers. We were responsible for processing any online orders, keeping with the up store, doing inventory, just cleaning up the store, just making polish. So whenever the time came that we were going to reopen, the store would be back up to par. So, and then some things happened, but I'm not going to get into all that. Anyways, like I said, that. And, like I said, me being there, and sometimes we didn't have nothing to do because you had the store clean. So I would just be watching YouTubes, listening to YouTubes while I'm just, trying to find something to do while I'm working. And that's what and I'll be like, I never had enough time to do it. I just never had enough time to do it. If I had enough time to do it, I would do it, and, so fast forward to 2020, the end of 2020, I had became, fast forward to a few months in after the pandemic is over and things started to open back up. Some things happened in my job, which I was blamed for a certain thing, and I was fired, even if there was no warning or anything. I was fired, and I had worked there for almost 12 and a half years of my life that I could never get back, and they didn't even give me one think or one blink or anything, and I was gone, So, and it was pandemic related, so like I said, I'm gonna do a whole video of that to let people know what I'm talking about who want to know more about it. But it was a whole thing about that, and like I said, so I was fired. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know what was the next move. I didn't know anything. But I'm telling you, God has worked. God has been there beside my side, because baby, I miss the beat, I miss the payment, I miss anything. God has been there with me through all of this, and just leading me and guiding me through the ways and doing things that I wanted to do. And I told myself in this chapter, if God can brought me a whole year and a half, and I have not been on anybody's job a year and a half, that God has, and all my bills are paid, Ain't no bill collector calling me and saying I owe them no money and I can still make it. Baby, I'm telling you, God is real and he gonna make a way out of no way for you. So I'm telling you, that's why I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna trust the process. I pray to God so many times. I was like, God, is this the right thing that I need to do? Is this what I should be doing? And I'm telling you, God has a way of showing you. You got to be in a place where you're able to hear God. If you're not able to hear God, you're not going to receive the message. If you're not in the place of receiving messages, from God, if you're not in that place, you're not going to receive it. Because I used to keep asking God, like, God, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And God used to tell me, and I used to say, God, this is a key word that I need you to, if I hear this key word, if somebody says this key word to me, and my girl Tabitha Brown has been one of the girls who's been really that in spiritual when she gives a word, and one of the things which she was like, trust the process. And that's what I told God. That was my key word to God, that if I hear that somebody told me to trust the process, this is the key. This is the this is the road that I'm supposed to be. I'm getting choked up. This is the road that I'm supposed to be going on, because I gotta trust the process. And I told the God that was the key word for me. If I hear that word, that means that I'm doing what you're gonna help me through what I asked you for. You're gonna help me through it. And sure enough, those were the keywords, and I kept seeing it. Trust the process. Trust the process. I kept seeing that word. And it was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I started doing YouTube. But when I got into YouTube, I wasn't that serious at first. And then when I got into it, I was still in an angry spirit place, because a lot of things that happened, a lot of things, had got me really in a bad space. They had denied me for unemployment. But I'm gonna tell you how God works. Those people told me I wasn't gonna be able to get unemployment, but I'm telling you, I was able to get it. When God has the last word for you, when them people tell you not, you just qualify for it, and I still got it. Trust. Them people try to block me from getting unemployment. That job try to block me from getting unemployment. Guess what? I still got it. I still got it. I still got it. Through the grace of God, even if it was only still for 6 months, I got it. Those people try to block me from getting that, and I was able to get unemployment for 6 months. I was able to receive that when they told me not to. I'm telling you, God has the last word. So sometimes when people tell you no, sometimes you just gotta trust that process, and things gonna work out, and God's gonna work it out some way, somehow, some shape, some way, some form. He gonna work it out for you. So that was a blessing in disguise right there. Like I said, people don't know that job had already. I used to have anxiety so bad when I used to go every day before I wake up. I felt like I knew I would wake up like 2 hours before I had to be to work, or even 2 hours before I had to get ready to go to work, and I would be in so much pain. My body would get so hot, and it felt like I was sick, and I felt like, oh my God, and I felt so sick, and I felt like, oh my God. But I was having anxiety attacks. Those were like anxiety/panic attacks that I was having, because I didn't want to go. That job was stressful. Like, it became stressful after the pandemic and opened up. Nobody wants to work, and because nobody want to work for a little bit of money when I can sit home and get unemployment and get all this money. So I don't. And I used to be mad at people, but I can't blame people. You're losing so much time in your life with being wrapped up in a job that's somebody else passion, somebody else's career, somebody else's whatever, and they don't really give a shit about you at the end of the day. You just an employee number for them at the end of the day. And it took me a lot of working 12 and a half years to realize that I was just an employee number. I never meant anything to them, to that company. I never meant anything for them but an employee number, and I would be able to get pushed the delete button when my time was over, and they don't even think about me. So that had kind of opened my eyes up and made me not, even through the process now, me wanting to find a job, but I'm still trusting the process of God, that he will lead me in the correct way. Somehow I'll get money and pay for whatever I need to get paid, because like I said, so Like I said, I'm trusting the process of starting my own business. I'm trusting the process of starting YouTube. Even though it's starting off slow, but I know things will take off. They'll take off when they take off. Everything is in due time when it's supposed to be. What's for me will be for me. When the time is supposed to be for me will be for me when that time comes. So I have to trust that process and sometimes not doubt myself and start, feeling like shit, I can't do this. But anyways, so that was one of the reasons. Like I said, I really started to do YouTube. But when I started, I had my YouTube videos were angry, like I was still in the hurt phase of the job firing me. So like I got a bunch of those videos. Like you could just see my aura was off doing those videos. And I was like, I'm not gonna put these videos out. I don't even want to put that type of energy into the atmosphere of me being angry when this was a blessing in disguise for me. And it took me some months to get down the line and understood that. It took me until I got fired in August 5th of 2020. I was fired, and it took me all the way until about October, 2 weeks before my birthday. My birthday's October 21st. And it took me 2 weeks, and I was like, I don't want to bring my birthday. I don't want to even go into this next phase of my life and this next journey, because I'm turning 32 at the time. And I was like, I do not want to, I'm turning 33 at the time, and I don't want to go into that phase of my life with an angry phase. Whatever's going to be is going to be. And I just started being happy. I started forgetting about being rejected for unemployment, forget about the job doing me dirty, forget about people doing me dirty, forget about all that. I'm going to do what I need to do. And from that moment on, I started being happy. Things started turning around for me. I just started being in a great spirit. I started wanting to do YouTube. So like the last few months in that, and in 2020, I started feeling great, leading to of 2021. And then I started taking YouTube a little serious. I started at the end of 2021, I started doing YouTube more, and leading to 22 now, I am starting to do more YouTube. I'm starting to do a lot of videos. I'm starting to just feel comfortable in front of the camera. I'm starting to just want to take you guys a little bit more with me in my life, and and stuff like that. Like I said, I just become more comfortable with doing it, and wanted to turn the camera on and get in front of the camera and tell people my journey and my story, about things that happened to me, things that, the next thing I'm going to tell people about how, video I'm going to do right after this, I want to do talking about how I lost my job and what was the, surrounding that, point of me losing my job. So, so people can kind of get a little feel of what that is and what was behind that, and, what happened and stuff like that, But yeah, I took up enough of your time that you guys knew about why I want to become a YouTuber. That is definitely one of the reasons when I wanted to become a YouTuber. Oh my God, I cannot forget and tell y'all, scratch that, I'm not done yet. Let me keep y'all for a few more seconds. Okay, so what really had spoke to me when, that really put the stamp on me that I needed to go ahead and do YouTube was my girl, Miss Tabitha Brown. She had put the post out, the same one that we all know that Wendy tried to drag her for, saying that she wanted to retire her husband, and she wanted to, because her husband stuck by her. We all know it about Miss Tabitha. We know what she, set forth in place for her husband, and the prayer that she said. So we all know that. But that also spoke to me in such a way, because she was saying how sometimes when you're so bogged down in a job, you can't, her husband was in the police force for 15 years, and when you're in there for 15 years, you're unable to, pursue some of your dreams that you had as a child, or pursue some of the things that you wanted to now do now because you're so bogged down with a job. And that was definitely me, working 12 and a half years at a place, and never had the opportunity to do anything because I was a store manager. I wasn't a part-time, I was a store manager. So there's so much on a store manager running a small store, a staff of maybe 10 to 12 people, or less than that at some times. So it was a very much healthy task that I had to take on, and I took it on for I took it on for about 4 or 5 years that I did that. And and I was very much successful at doing it, but it was very much stressful. I was successful. When I said I was successful at it, I was able to turn things around in the store. I was able to turn sales around. I was able to turn around some of the theft in the store. I was able to turn around the presentation of the store. I was turning around the customer service experience in the store. I was able to do a lot of things that I turned around in that job. That, number one thing is customer service, because if you turn around customer service, that's your base sale right there. You make people want to come back to shop with you. So when I start my online business, that's what I want to do. I want to make people sell good products so I can make people happy. I do not want to sell anything that is going to make people like I'm trying to rip them off or anything like that. So that's why I'm doing the process of really taking my time trying to get things together before I launch my online store. I really want to make sure I do the process of doing what I'm supposed to do, make sure I'm researching all the things I'm supposed to research, all the products that I'm getting, I'm testing them out just to see what they're going to give. I want to do that. So that is just one of the things. Like I said, Miss Tabitha Brown, when she said that speech, it touched me. It was a word for me as well, because like I said, I was stuck in a place. I didn't have that time to do YouTube. I wanted to do YouTube, but I just never had the time, because I was working between 45, 50, or 60 hours a week. And mostly I was working 50 to 60 hours a week, and I was only being paid for 45. So clear me clearly, and I'm going to say it again. I was only working 45. Let me clarify. I'm only getting paid for 45 hours, but I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. So, yes, my job didn't pay you past anything. Anything you work past 45 hours is free time for the company, because they feel like they already pay you enough for it. So they do not pay you anything else, anything more after your 45 hours. 45 is all they pay for you. They don't care if you punched in. They see you work 65 hours. They're only paying you for 45. They don't care. You don't get no overtime. You don't do anything. So it doesn't matter. That's just free time that they're able to accumulate, free time that you work for them, free time anything. So that's where I came from, you guys. So that's why I'm so hesitant in now working any place else and doing anything else but working for myself. Because if I'm going to run down my body and run down myself, run down my mind, run down, run up and down the road, I got to do it for me and for my brand. You know what I'm saying? Not for somebody else's brand. So, yeah. So that's kind of how, things were at the place that I was at. And that's kind of how where I'm at my stance. Like I said, I didn't have enough time to do YouTube, but now I do. So I'm going to try to utilize it. Like I said, I'm starting off with a very slow rate of getting subscribers, but I know they'll come. And I want to thank everybody for subscribing, who has already subscribed to me. I want to thank everybody now in advance, all my new subscribers who have subscribed. Thank you for being a part of the Chapter 2 family. Thank you for becoming a part of the family. And I hope you enjoy the videos that I put out. So without further ado, before you leave, now we can do the intro. Anyways, so now you guys can go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. And you can go ahead and like, comment, and share this video. Peace out, Chapter 2. I'll definitely see you guys in another video.